Was Joel right or wrong when he saved Ellie from the Fireflies? I've seen this debate for a little bit, and most people are firmly on one side or the other. And in a way, it's a bit of a philosophical question. The way people answer this will tell you about their belief system. The question really is, do you think it's alright to kill one person, but then have the possibility of saving thousands of lives? Or is all life sacred, and we aren't going to experiment on someone with a chance to make a cure for the cordyceps brain infection? In a lot of ways, it is similar to the trolley problem. If you took philosophy or ethics, you already know this, but I'll explain it for those who don't. It's a moral dilemma. It presents a scenario where a trolley is headed towards 5 people. You have the option to switch the track, but doing so will cause the trolley to kill 1 person instead of 5. The core question is, should you switch the track, sacrificing 1 life to save 5? So somebody has to die, and 1 is less than 5, so many people would switch the track, saving the 5. But then people add all these interesting variables to it. For example, the 1 person on the track is a parent. Are you willing to sacrifice a parent for 5 random strangers? Let's say one of the people on the 5-person side is a terrible person and will kill hundreds of people. Is it better to run over that side, even if the other 4 people over there are innocent? And you know, there's a bunch of different variations like that. And I think the Joel and Ellie dilemma is in the same ballpark. So let's look at this from a logical point of view first, one that is trying to save the most lives. So with killing Ellie, a cure will be made and many lives saved. So 1 life versus a crazy amount of lives and generations who will now be able to get bit and not get infected because of Ellie's sacrifice. If you are trying to save the most lives, Ellie has to die. Obviously, the people who are infected are going to stay infected. They're dead. It would be like the people like Eugene, who we saw last night. You get bit, but the cordyceps hasn't taken over completely. You take this shot, and it stops the spread. Or perhaps it's like a vaccine, and it makes you permanently immune. Either way, there would still be infected running around. But in the long run, it would save a bunch of lives. So the answer is Ellie has to die, right? Well, the problem is there are a lot of questions about the vaccine we don't have the answer to. There is no guarantee that they are going to be able to make a cure from Ellie. When Ellie confronts Joel about it in episode 6, he shakes his head yes, that they could have made a cure from her. But there's no evidence that they could. They have this fancy lab and whatnot, but there's no guarantee that they could make it. The next issue is the logistics of it. How are they going to manufacture this cure? Do they have a factory? Do they have the supplies to mass produce this? And how are they going to distribute this cure? Fedra won't help them. You have to remember that the Fireflies are looked at as a terrorist group to Fedra, who basically is the government in the United States at this point. If a terrorist group who killed some of your people came to you with this cure and were like, hey, I know we've had our differences, but this is a cure, and you should take it. If you're Fedra, you think they're trying to inject you with some poison. There's no way you're trusting them if you're Fedra. And think about the different groups and places like Jackson and the WLF that exist. Are you going to trust your lives to strangers who tell you that there's this cure and you should take it? And your group doesn't have the capabilities to test this cure at all to see if it actually works? It is a good idea in theory, but there's no way you're going to get people to take it. Look at the real world. Look at the COVID vaccine. There were studies, all this data, all this scientific stuff available for people to read, and people still chose not to take it. There's just so many questions to figure out after you make that cure that it is hard to sit here and say that Ellie's life wouldn't be wasted. So with that all in mind, let's say there's a 35% chance of everything working out the way they hoped with the cure. Is Ellie dying worth it? And I still think you have to do it if you're being logical. With there being a chance to save so many lives and affect so many people, it's hard to say no even with the odds not being great. But let's add one more caveat. We are Joel. We love this girl. She's like a daughter to us. Are we going to let them do this with a chance of it working? Absolutely not. Joel already lost one daughter. He's not going to lose another, especially knowing he can save her. So I don't think what Joel did was right, but I think it is what we would all do in the same situation. We're not going to watch a loved one die for a slight chance of a cure being made. So what do you think? Was Joel right or wrong? Leave it down in the comments below, and if you want more Last of Us content, please subscribe and like the video. Check out the Twitter link in the description below, and as always, have an awesome day.